I cut off my brother financially after his son humiliated me at my birthday dinner. I turned 34 on a Saturday night, sitting in a crowded Italian restaurant in Chicago, watching cola drip off the toe of my new loafers while half my family laughed like it was the funniest thing they'd seen all year. The ruined shoe wasn't even the worst part. The worst part was how natural the laughter felt. My nephew Caleb is 9, and nobody in his house has ever really told him no. My brother Mason and his wife Brielle treat him like the world should adjust itself around him. Then my birthday dinner happened. I'd bought myself a nice pair of leather loafers a few weeks earlier after finally getting promoted. I'd wanted them for years, not to impress anyone, just because, for once, I could buy something for myself without guilt. Caleb slid into the chair next to me, looked down at my shoes, and said, loud enough for the whole table to hear, "Dad says those are fake. He says you always buy stuff to look rich." The table went quiet. Then Mason laughed. Brielle smiled into her napkin. My mom gave Caleb a soft, "That's not nice," but she was smiling too. I looked at Mason and said, "You told him that?" Mason shrugged. Kids repeat things. Relax. Then Caleb added, "Dad also says you act successful, but you still live in that tiny apartment." That was the moment something shifted. This wasn't a child being random. This was a child repeating the way adults talked about me when I wasn't there. I told Caleb calmly, "That's rude." He grinned, picked up his Coke, and poured it straight onto my right shoe. Ice hit my ankle. Soda soaked into the leather, and my family burst out laughing. My brother bent over laughing. My cousin was filming. Brielle said, "Caleb," in that fake scolding voice people use when they secretly think something is hilarious. I sat there, looking at the dark stains spreading over a shoe I'd worked hard to buy, and realized I was done. That night, I went home, opened my banking app, and canceled the $1. $350 automatic transfer I'd been sending Mason and Brielle every month for almost 2 years. It had started when Mason lost his job. Then it became groceries, utilities, and Caleb's private school tuition because Brielle didn't want to disrupt his future. Somewhere along the way, my help stopped being temporary and turned into expectation. I also removed Mason as an authorized user on my credit card. He'd been using it for gas because his own credit was wrecked. Then I sent Brielle one text. "Starting next month, I'm done covering your household expenses." Tonight made that very clear. The next morning, my phone was a disaster. Missed calls, angry texts. My mom called and said, "Why would you do this to your brother?" I said, "Because his son humiliated me using words he learned from him," and everyone laughed. She sighed. "He's a child, and Mason is 41. When Mason got me on the phone, he said, "You're really doing this over shoes?" That sentence told me everything. Not over shoes. Over disrespect. Over being mocked by people whose bills I was helping pay. Over realizing I'd become less of a brother and more of a monthly payment. A week later, Brielle posted on Facebook that Caleb might have to leave private school because family support came with strings. I didn't comment. Because the truth was simple. Support is a gift, not a salary. And if you raise your child to laugh at the person keeping your household afloat, you don't get to act shocked when the help disappears.